Today's video is for anybody who's dealing with the broken user interface on YouTube's video player pages. I'm going to grab the bar here and move it to the right because I still have access to it. And if you bring it up, it'll bring up the titles and stuff. But you'll notice that it buries the player button, the volume control, the timing, and literally every other button just barely out of reach, coincidentally, because I'm not using a browser that YouTube and Google approve of. I use Firefox. Now, I found one that was kind of a solution. YouTube player bottom bar fix to put it at the top. This was done by somebody named Sergio, but I modified it by doing actually just really one edit. His program, well, it's a tamper script, takes the bottom bar element, the YouTube player, Chrome bottom player, and sets top and bottom settings for auto, and top is set normally for 0, but I changed it to 480. Now when I activate it, it should take this bar, take it up to the top, and then move it down 480 pixels. Now I'm not sure why, but because the other statement says auto, apparently it grabs it and puts it down here where I can actually see it. So we're going to go ahead and go into Tamper Monkey. We're going to find I've called it now the YouTube Player Submarine Bottom Bar Fix. I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to refresh the page, and we'll see if it actually works. It should work. I have to point out, if anybody's watching, I'm using an older version of Firefox that obviously plays the videos fine, but every time they do any of these changes, it seems almost custom engineered to make sure things stop working on a very regular basis. In fact, it seems that's their only purpose. I have my browser set up to where it won't play a video automatically because almost never is anything automatic in our benefit. So I hit play, and the pause button, no matter how mutated and oversized it is and clipped off it is, I now have access to the full screen button, the theater mode, the mini player, which I disable and despise, the settings button, which actually is workable, closed captioning, the autoplay, which is always off and should never have been included, and the end screen card hide and view button, which always gets disabled by YouTube eventually. It's mostly usable. Now, before, all of this was hidden down below the bar here. I'm sure that was totally an accident because I'm using a browser that Google and YouTube absolutely hate. So I want to point out a couple of things. Making a player interface on a web browser large isn't always a bad thing. It has to be able to be hidden or whatever, but you can see within it that its alignment characteristics are wrong. You want to make sure that all the buttons are the same size and you center them across a dead center line and make it as minimal as possible and give it plenty of buffer room above and below so that you don't cause these problems. Again, all I did was I told it to use the reference point 480. So I'm going to put in 485. We're going to just screw with the numbers. We play with things. I'm going to hit File, Save. I'm going to hit refresh on the page and see if it shoves it down to where we can't see it. It should shove it down to where, you know, the bottom part here is cut off or something. It should do that if I'm accurate about what I'm thinking here. Or I just got lucky and 480 or any number above 0 does this. I don't know. Let's test it. But the point is, this is a partial fix to make it to where at least it's not off the screen. Now, as you can see, it appears that it's doing exactly what it was doing before. Now it moved it up to the top, which is the primary purpose of that utility, and then it defaults to going down again. And if I hit play, the buttons they're pretty much where they were before, but maybe a little further down. You be the judge. But the point I'm making here is there was nobody asked for them to do this. This is not useful. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of a rant. If you couldn't figure it out, I always rant. But the idea of changing the user interface this radically isn't terrible. It's just that why would you waste all this space? Now, the answer you're going to get is for mobile phones and mobile equipment, trying to unify the interface to work on all of the different platforms, which would make sense, except virtually every one of you that isn't using a standard computer with a standard web browser is using an app. All they have to do is alter the app for each specific platform, and it'll always work perfectly on it. So there's no reason to do this unless they're really truly trying to make it universal. And in case you haven't noticed, it was universal. Let's see, what year was that? Oh yeah, a while ago it was working. It's been working fine for literally a decade. It always worked. I don't remember seeing anybody complaining about it having, the buttons too clearly visible or something. Also, you're supposed to be able to click this and it changes the style, which I guess is cool. Look, no one wanted this. YouTube and Google know this. They do this because it's a distraction. Sort of like, well, speak of the devil himself. Sort of like politicians throwing out, UFO files, any files you ever wanted, but not the ones we want this year. This is the distraction. This keeps the corporate types that buy stock in Google or Alphabet or whatever company is their main master this week happy. It isn't to keep anybody using the platform happy. None of this is needed. As I've said in the past, if you hear me say there is no technical reason for that, that just means they're doing something to hide something. There is no technical reason for this. Make a player that works, leave it that way, and when people ask you, why haven't you changed it in 10 years, your answer is always, as always, should be, because it isn't broken. And the other answer is, why do you want us to fuck it up? They should literally get aggressive and angry about it. They're very aggressive when you point out that they allow AI slop and illegal content and links to stuff that's literally illegal and content on pages that don't get taken down for weeks at a time so that it really ruins the experience on YouTube. Twitter went through the same thing as soon as Elon Musk decided he wasn't going to bother hiring people to police the fucking website. Google's been doing this over and over again for years. Real problems are ignored and bullshit is done instead. And I want to point out, 2013, 2015, man, what an ugly year that was. I mean, this is actually a little bit better. But anyway, the fix I found, if you're having a problem where it starts submarining, is I'm calling it the YouTube Player Submarine Bottom Bar Fix, is to set the bottom bar element style set property top as being a number other than 0. I don't know how little or big it is, but there it is. It's 485. Okay, I guess that'll work. And then it doesn't have a problem like this. Now, if any of you out there know how to do this better, because I'm an amateur, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm an idiot. Assume I'm an idiot because, seriously, have you seen my YouTube channel? Find a way to do the following things. This is for all of you out there who are script kiddies, and I mean the good kind, who do, grease monkey and tamper monkey scripting. Find a way to make it to where these buttons are forced to be smaller, as small as these, so it's consistent. Write a script to completely compact this back down to where it works. Leave it in the same order if they want to do this, because also make it to where it moves it to where it's centered correctly so we can see the entire button. It says closed caption, but the part of the box is missing. Part of the gear is bit off. Everything's bit off. At least I can use it now when, not if, they do this bullshit. And again, it isn't consistent. They're doing it to random people. It's aggravating. They know that we're going to hate it, and they also know there is no technical reason for it. So this is just a distraction from the real problems they're having, like, well, you might have noticed that you're going to be required to give ID in order to use the website. This is yet another way they can push you into paying for it, because by definition, if you pay with a credit card, well, gee willikers, only grown-ups can get access to a credit card for 5 minutes and pay for, YouTube Premium, right? And of course, if you don't come here with a bad browser like I did, Firefox, of course they'll treat you better because you're not substandard person. Anyway, that's really it. I'm going to mute that if it allows it and hit the play. And yeah, this is a YouTube new video player is terrible video within my video that says the same thing. So anyway, I'm offering a partial solution for if the buttons are hidden. And again, this is actually working mostly the way it's been described in the page here in the video where this guy's complaining about it like I am. There was no reason for them to do it. And yeah, it wastes a bunch of space, and it just does this, shuffling the chairs around on the Titanic while it sinks. That's what's going on. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it. And yeah, there's the submarine button thing. And yeah, I'll have a link to the original creator at greasyfork here. And all you have to do is change this one line to say a number other than 0. I don't know how this works. I'm an idiot. Let's assume that. I can prove it. I got a permit for stupidity. And by the way, if you're watching Sergi Zero or Sergio, would you make a variation of this that puts the bar here and cleans all this up to where it isn't messed up? I mean, this is an abomination. Why the hell did they do this? Anyway, thanks. Bye. Good luck.